So as we promised on the App Resource Connect, all of our webcasts are going to profile the most innovative companies, and this event, IoT World, does not fail to deliver once again. I'm here with a company that's actually looking at the sound space, the ultrasound space, to innovate in connecting mobile devices. And I'm here with Brian Roeten. He's the co-founder of
Pleased to meet you.
Yes, bienvenue.
Yeah.
And we got a nice little applause there for your introduction.
Yes.
Now, tell us how you looked at the traditional smartphone, and you saw some opportunities with sound to completely innovate in the field.
Indeed. Well, until now, all the near-field communication technologies always failed to achieve 100% of matching on the smartphone side. They're, for instance, for the NFC, limited to 30-35% of the market until now. So what we said is, if you've got a solution or a service or a product that you want to launch, you would like to address 100% of the end users. So you need a protocol, communication protocol, which would be capable of doing that. So we are using components that exist on all phones, the microphones and the speaker, to create a connection, to interact or to exchange data between devices of daily life.
And this idea, of course, we don't miss the point. You said NFC devices 35% of the market, so any companies that are specific to a certain device are missing a huge marketplace, and you're providing a solution that can help them leapfrog into virtually any device. So now your product addresses four main market sectors.
Yes,
and this is probably where the greatest penetration of these devices is going to come from. Why don't you explain the four areas that come from?
So the first area is the mobile payment area, where we provide a contactless and universal solution for all phones around the world. Currently there are 7.2 billion phones around the world, feature phones, basic phones, and smartphones included. We know that especially in emerging countries, all people have at least a phone, but have not necessarily access to financial services. And in this case, we provide a solution which enables any phone user to turn their phone into an electronic wallet, to exchange money from one phone to another just by sound.
Wow, so the phone actually talks to the other phone.
Yes.
Just like that.
But the very important thing is that we grant the proximity of both devices. The World Bank insists that the payment is always a payment between two persons within very close range. As long as we achieve a payment at 8 meters, it's no more a payment, it is a transfer.
Wow. Fantastic. So you've actually taken your considerations as a platform to the protocols and standards at the highest level of banking and considerations. And that's only one of the sectors. There's three more as well. Right?
Yes, indeed. So the second sector is the cybersecurity sector, in which we provide a solution where we can enter into website sessions or into ATMs or anything without using a digicode or a password. Instead of using a password that you always forget, you will be receiving an ultrasound from the device with an encrypted one-time password integrated into the sound.
It changes every time.
It changes every time.
Amazing.
Even if a hacker should record the sound behind your back, he would not be able to reuse it again because automatically the system already destroyed the sound in the moment that you used it.
Awesome.
So with this sound we create a session by sending back the information through the smartphone of the user. And this session enables to set up a first level of authentication. And once we set this first level, we can ask for a second parameter, such as biometrics or a digicode on the smartphone. Fingerprint.
Yeah, sure.
As to achieve strong authentication, which is necessary in some financial reasons.
Awesome. Now remember, the platform here is an SDK. This is why for our app marketing people it's very important, because they're creating a platform for anybody with a great idea for an app in the IoT space, the banking space, the mobile space, to integrate this ultrasonic technology. Two more sectors, right?
Yes, indeed. I just want to add one thing to the cybersecurity, because besides using the security level, we can also make the experience of people better. We can, instead of entering passwords and credit cards data on a website with a secured form, once we create the ultrasonic session, we just swipe the information from the smartphone directly to the form online. Because we already created a connection, and this connection will allow us to interact directly with the form. So no more heartache with putting your data or your login or anything. It can be just as simple as a swipe on your
truly smart device.
Yes.
Truly automated device. Yeah. And so the other two sectors?
So the other sectors is retail and geofencing purposes. In this case, the idea is to create a better connection between retailers and their consumers. by adding on the smartphone features that will enable ultrasound to increase the experience of the end consumers. So it will start at home when the consumer is in front of his website. The website is going to broadcast ultrasounds for each product on the web page. These ultrasounds are going to be collected by the smartphone to create a history of products that are visited by the customer. Once the same customer enters into the shop, he detects the ultrasonic environment of the shop through his smartphone always, and this will alert the vendor, the salesperson of this shop, on Mr. Jones just entered into the shop and he has visited the vacuum cleaners on your webpage.
Knows what the client is looking for. Knows what the shopper is looking for.
And we go even further than that because we say, do you want to send him a coupon to get a reduction on that specific product? So if the salesman says yes, he sends a product which is sent through the ultrasound directly to the smartphone of the end user. And of course he has got a much bigger chance to transform the visit into a purchase, which can be also brought to the end by a redeem of this offer, always by ultrasounds towards the boss of the vendor.
And remember, folks, this is about software development on top of their SDK, so monetization, user retention, lifetime value, all these things can be built right on top of this.
Yes, indeed.
The big number 4. What's
the big number 4 is the last one that we created. It is the Internet of Things, which was launched 1 month ago. We're on the right place for that. And the idea is to transform any smartphone into a remote control for the electric and the electronic devices of your daily life. So basically any device in your environment which has speakers or microphones can interact with your smartphone. Of course you will say there are lots of devices who don't have speakers. And in that case we created an electronic circuit which you can be plugged into the electric device to make it respond to the ultrasounds or the sounds that you're using. We can go even further because the same electronic circuit will enable us to perform contactless interaction or voice interaction, which is a major opportunity for people that get elderly or with problems with mobility.
Yeah, and also when people walk in their homes, they can literally start talking to the device.
Yes.
And this signal interprets what they're saying.
Yes, indeed.
So folks, if you're looking into the future, don't look any further than Copsonic. When are you planning on coming to the Bay Area? Everybody's going to want to know.
The business developers will be present in the Bay Area starting in September, October 2015.
In 2015, they're around the world, starting off in French and literally revolutionizing how we see, how we think, and how we hear the Internet of Things.
Indeed.
Brian, it was a pleasure. Mon plaisir. Excellent. And
Thank you.
Everybody else, we're going to continue more. I don't know if we have to. This might have covered it all right here at Internet of Things.